The Astronomy, Defense Against the Dark Arts class. The field.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Rumor has it there's a secret passage leading to Hogwart.
Revelio.
The best. Might be at the Three Broomsticks all day.
Fills our stone hearts with joy to be in the presence of such arrogance.
Revelio.
Painting of Ilias. Guide pages. This painting depicts the young orphan wizard Ilias, who famously saved his entire village from an army of Dementors and the dark wizard Richidian by conjuring a mouse Patronus. Cross button. Continue.
Never forget what that Hufflepuff girl said in 1421. What lovely stone. Oh, that's class, that is.
Revelio.
Lumos. Utility. Allows you to see in dark areas or solve puzzles that require extra light. Arresto momentum. Depulso. Force. Arresto momentum. Control. Unavailable. Slows both objects and enemies, giving you extra time to plan your next move. R2 button. Hold. Glacius. Control. Unavailable. Freezes enemies, increasing the damage they take from follow-up attacks. Levioso. Control. Unavailable. Levitates up. Transformation. Control. Unavailable. Transforms objects and enemies into alternate forms, whether puzzle solutions or harmless knickknacks. R2 button. Hold to assign. Accio. Force. Unavailable. Summons a variety of objects and enemies to close range. Certain magical and heavy objects require sustained effort to pull close. Depulso. Force. Unavailable. Repels Descendo. Force. Unavailable. Deals no direct damage, but objects and enemies that are slammed to the ground will suffer considerable impact damage. Airborne enemies will take even greater damage upon hitting the ground. R2 button. Hold to assign. Flipendo. Force. Unavailable. Flips objects and enemies upwards and backwards. With its short cooldown, it is excellent for setting up and extending juggles. Its ability to Confringo. Damage. Unavailable. A long-range ball that deals damage on impact. Enemies hit with fire-based attacks will continue to take damage for a few seconds, during which time collisions will result in incendiary bursts. R2 but Defindo. Damage. Unavailable. Slashes objects and enemies from afar dealing considerable damage. Expelliarmus. Damage. Unavailable. Disarms wands and weapons from most enemies who wield them. Also deals damage to all enemies, even if they do not carry a weapon. R2 button. Bombarda. Damage. Unavailable. Deals heavy damage on impact, accompanied by an explosion that can destroy heavy obstacles and hit surrounding enemies. R2 button. Incendio. Damage. Unavailable. Its range is short and requires you to be close to the target. This spell deals significant damage and lights certain objects on fire. Enemies hit with fire-based attacks will continue to take damage for a few seconds, during which time collisions will result in incendiary bursts. R2 Disillusionment. Utility. Unavailable. Causes you to blend into your surroundings, making it more difficult for others to perceive you. Perfect for sneaking or approaching enemies undetected to be Avada Kedavra. Unforgivable Curse. Unavailable. Kills enemies instantly. R2 button. Hold to assign. Circle button. Back. Crucio. Unforgivable Curse. Unavailable. Causes most enemies to writhe in pain as they take damage over time. Also curses the victim and cursed enemies take extra damage. R2 but Imperio. Unforgivable Curse. Unavailable. Temporarily forces enemies to fight as if they were your companion. While under your control, they take reduced damage from other enemies to prolong their allegiance to you. Also curses the victim and cursed enemies take extra damage. R2 button. Hold to assign. Circle button. Back. Protego. Essential.
Not someone else trying to pass through. I'd be careful.
Ah! Got you!
Revelio.
Now! No, till you wanted a place.
Revelio.
142 staircases, and this is where...
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented it.
Revelio.
I keep things clean as a whistle, but it's... Oh, what's that?
What are you up to now?
Revelio.
Oh dear, do mind the tiles. Some of them can be most potent. Do you mind where you're stepping? They'll only think it's me.
Is that all you've got?
Levioso! Professor Hecat! Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Steady your wand with left stick and guide it along the symbol's path to learn the spell. Press the corresponding input when prompted to accelerate your wand's motion along the symbol's path.
Levioso.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with a basic cast.
Perform a basic cast using R2 button.
See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast.
Break through yellow shields with control spells like the levitation spell, Levioso.
Now, well done.
Levioso.
Very good, but the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
Levioso.
Good form.
I know.
Lucky.
Nothing lucky about it.
This can't be your
Protego. Let's just say
I do enjoy a lively duel. If only all of my students were this adept.
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Hufflepuff.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments. All right. That's enough spectacle for one day. Class is
I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel.
Huh. Always thought Levioso was for first years. Not anymore.
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you, not the other way around.
Revelio.
Hebridean Black Skeleton. Guide pages. This large dragon skeleton that hangs in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom is allegedly a trophy taken by Professor Hecat after she single-handedly defeated one of the largest poaching rings in eastern Wales during the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. Cross button.
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition. Well done.
Nice work.
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice. It felt more like I was dueling an expert. Sebastian Sallow, by the way. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
I've had my share of wand combat. It was. Never used my wand in combat.
In fact, it was. Perhaps I have a knack for it.
Be coy if you like, but I know better. Magic requires intention and talent. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling organization.
Sounds intriguing. Sounds suspicious.
Exclusive and unsanctioned. Count me in.
Excellent. Knew I was right about you. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck, or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance. If you're interested. Till next time.
Quests. All. Charms class. The Crossed Wands, Round 1. I should speak with Luke and Brattleby about the secret dueling club. Cross button. Charms class. The field guide map shows Professor Ronan's classes in the astronomy wing. Crossed Wands, Round 1. I should level 2. Collections, inventory, gear. Settings, quest, map. Flu Flames locations. Hogwart, Crossed Wands, Round 1. Charms class, level 2.
Oh, I'm not much for dueling. I prefer to keep things friendly.
Map. Flu, the astronomy wing. The wing of Hogwarts comprising the the grand staircase. The magnificent staircase of crossed wands, the grand
Revelio. Revelio.
Not again! Here I've come from the toilet box!
Haunted toilets. Guide pages. Unless in dire straits, it is probably best to avoid this particular toilet as it is allegedly one of Peeves's favorite pranking spots.
Did you praxia mole? As long as 'twere only one time per week, I can plunge the boy's lavatory, not for the meek.
Please, Peeves, you'll make me late.
He tried to stop me, did rancorous carp, sought to trap me, confine me inside of a jar. But he failed, as did his containment charms, so I took my revenge to wreak havoc and harm. It was granted my privileges be handsome indeed, or I'd fire up the cannon, and so she agreed. To draw up a contract with her, not with him, that if I behaved, I'd have one weekly swim! Whee!
I'll get you for this.
You should see your face!
Please, you annoying little...
Revelio.
Lachlan the Lanky. Guide pages. This statue depicts the wizard Lachlan the Lanky, a tall, slender wizard who appears quite proud of himself. For what precisely, no one knows. Crossbutt.
Someone really ought to banish him. For good.
Map of Argyllshire. Guide pages. This map depicts Argyllshire, a region in Scotland which contains the Hebrides, native home of the Hebridean black dragon. Cross button.
Glad you could make it. Lucan's just over there.
Can I help you?
Sebastian told me to see you about a club.
If Sebastian vouches for you, that's all I need to know. I coordinate duels for crossed wands. A dueling club of sorts. It's invitation only, so you must have really impressed Sebastian.
That's nice to hear. I did take him down a peg. That's nice to...
I'm flattered to hear that. Sebastian's not a bad duelist either.
Imagine it's quite something to see the two of you duel.
How does cross wands work exactly?
You show up, I match you with other duelists, and whoever is still standing in the end wins. It's our way of determining the school's greatest duelist once and for all. And to liven things up, the winner is awarded a prize. Interested?
I'll join your club.
Of course. Dueling's an entertaining pastime.
I agree. Besides, in crossed ones, you could duel with a partner if you like. Your first time I'll pair you with Sebastian. Next time, you'll need to bring a partner along, or duel alone. So, care to step into the ring?
I'm ready.
Get me in the ring.
Spectacular! Let the fireworks begin!
We'll make you regret signing up.
Break through yellow shields with control spells like the levitation spell, Levioso. Target lock R3 button lets you track enemies without aiming. Use right stick left and right to change targets while locked. Cross button. Continue.
Levioso. Protego.
Expulso!
Is that all you've got? Cinder!
There goes my way. Levioso.
Expulso!
You're better than that! Levioso!
Find the one!
Levioso. Come on. Glad I didn't bet on that round.
Nice work. Sebastian wasn't wrong about you. There's strong competition ahead, but keep this up and you could be the next school champion.
Brilliant. Count me in.
I shall. Now, it takes time to organise these duels, but check with me later. I may have something lined up for you. Again, congratulations on your first crossed wands victory. Well fought. Hope to see you back here again.
Map. Flu Flames locations.
I feel sorry for your next opponent.
Next time you need a partner for Cross Swans, don't hesitate to call on me.
Level. Free. Map. Flu Flames locations. Hogwarts. Collection. The Astronomy Wing. The wing of Hogwarts comprising the Astronomy Charms class. The field. The Astronomy Triangle. The Charms class. Level. Free.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Potato! Revelio.
Level. Free. Map. Flu Flames locations. This is your location. The South Wing. The South Wing. The Grand Staircase. The Great Hall. The Astronomy Wing. Collection. Defense against the Dark Arts Classroom. Professor Hackett's Defense.
Professor Ronan tends to go on a bit. We sometimes have to remind him to finish the lesson.
Some of us don't necessarily want him to get back to the lesson.
Here! Behind you! There is an open seat here.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
Steady your wand with left stick and guide it along the symbol's path to learn the spell. Press the corresponding input when prompted to accelerate your wand's motion along the symbol's path.
That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me! I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree, So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off?
The summoning charm, Accio, pulls a target closer to the caster. Hold R2 button and press the assigned button to cast Accio and pull a target closer. Press the button again to cease casting the spell.
You are summoning them toward you. Splendid! Very good! Very good. Points to Hufflepuff. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up. You'll be the blues, just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Here we go!
There we go.
Accio.
Let us do this.
Stay focused.
Level 3.
Watch this. That is how it's done.
Accio.
Excellent control there. Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Be sharp. There we go.
Accio.
That's it.
Here we go!
quite impressive. Watch this. That is how it's done.
Accio!
Don't lose your composure. Very good, both of you. Well done. Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Well done back there. You took the loss in stride. Didn't want to go too easy on you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
I'm glad you understand. I'm holding my own. I'm glad you understand.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Wagadu just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Nice to meet you. How big is Uagadu?
Is Wagadu much bigger than Hogwarts?
Wagadu School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts. But it never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
Thank you for telling. What does Uagadu?
Is Wagadu a castle, like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
Thank you for telling me. What, is magic the same?
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Wagadu uses one.
That's incredible. Surely the magic is weaker. That's incredible.
You can cast spells without a wand?
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
Thank you for telling me about Uagadu.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Wagadu, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can use Accio on humans.
A word, if you
you're
would.
so inclined.
Well, you'd be using it on...
You wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did.
You know it won't work
I
on you.
trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? Miss Onai is a talented witch. Take it in stride. One often gains the most from the battles one has lost.
Of course, Professor. It was a challenging match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Level 3. Map. Flue Flames locations. Hogwarts. The astronomy wing. The Grand Staircase. The South Wing. The south wing up level, here. Quests. All. Weasley after class. Cross button. Level. Inventory.
Hello there. You're the new student, aren't you?
Hello, you wanted to speak to me?
Samantha Dale. I've been eager to meet you. You're the student everyone's been whispering about. Hope your first day's going well. You certainly seem to hold your own in charms.
That's kind of you to say. Wasn't too challenging a lesson. That's kind of you to...
I've been fortunate. Beginner's luck.
My brother William would tell you not to be so humble and to trust your abilities. Then again, he tends to be overconfident in his. Well, better see to my charms homework. I'm afraid I can't count on beginner's luck to impress Professor Ronan.
What about the room, Professor?
I was thinking the same thing, Deke. Perhaps you could help.
Oh, excuse, Deke.
Ah, there you are. I trust your first classes went well?
They did, Professor.
I heard as much from Professors Hecat and Ronan. Seems Professor Fig taught you quite a bit before you arrived. I'd wager there's a good deal more to your travels here than what you've told me. Isn't there?
Hasn't Professor Fig said anything? No, Professor.
Nothing more, Professor.
I see. Like trying to get a sonnet from a streeler. Regardless, you must continue to build upon what you've learned. In that regard, I've asked your professors to help hasten your progress with some extra assignments.
Professor Ronan mentioned that. What? More work? Professor
Ronan did mention something about that.
In fact, Professor Ronan will meet you outside momentarily to assign your first one. Now, regarding the trip to Hogsmeade I mentioned earlier, we've arranged to replace the supplies lost on your way here, including seeds, potion recipes, and spellcrafts.
Thank you, Professor.
And Mr. Ollivander will connect you with the perfect wand. You've managed your classes well with a borrowed wand, but you'll find the magic you cast with your own wand to be far superior.
I'm ready to go. What more can you tell me about the potions shop?
Can you tell me more about the potions shop, Professor?
J. Pippin's Potions stocks a wide array of potions ingredients, although they rarely sell recipes. Professor Sharp asked that they have a couple of particular recipes on hand for you.
I'm ready to go. What's a...
I've never heard of a spellcraft before, Professor. What is it?
A spellcraft is a recipe of sorts used when conjuring objects. I shall explain more about them when you begin working with transfiguration magic.
I'm ready to go. What? So there really is an Ollivanders here?
There's an Ollivanders in Hogsmeade.
There is. Most people are familiar with the shop in Diagon Alley. We're fortunate to have someone like him nearby. Mr. Ollivander is a genuine craftsman and highly skilled wand maker. I would trust no one else to pair me with a wand.
I'm ready to go.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade.
Very well. I'd like you to make your first visit to the village with a classmate. Help you get your bearings. Perhaps Sebastian Sallow or Natsai Onai. I've noticed you spending time with them.